Welcome to Healthier Living, sponsored by Nuvia Dental, home of the only real one-day full mouth implant dentistry with no temporary teeth and no extra appointments. Over 40 clinics and over 40,000 beautifully transformed and excited patients. I'm Marissa Morgan, your host. Today we'll be talking with Dr. Preston Hansen, a group of Nuvia patients sharing their experiences with each other unscripted, and even see a demonstration of what you must know before obtaining implants anywhere about teeth strength at a construction site with a 66,000-pound earth mover. It'll be a quick half hour, and it just might change your life or the life of a loved one. Let's get started. Dr. Hansen, welcome to Healthier Living.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you're a board-certified oral surgeon and the chief clinical officer for the over 40 Nuvia implant clinics providing the entire procedure and permanent teeth in 24 hours. I see that Nuvia has been named the implant company of the year 2 years in a row, and CXO magazine credits you as transforming healthcare through changing patient experiences. You oversee all the surgeons and still personally work with patients. So I'm going to call you an expert on the patient, not just the clinical treatment. So I have questions about the good people watching this show. First, who comes to Nuvia that you can best help?
Yeah, the people that come to see us are often missing some teeth. They're dealing with gum disease, which we're more and more concerned about these days. It's been linked to some cardiovascular illness. Often they've had decay or maybe past dental work, and they continue to sort of piecemeal their way through, dealing with one problem tooth at a time, all the way to those who are already missing all their teeth and maybe putting up with dentures and trying to struggle through that. Fortunately, we have the answer and the solution for them, and we're able to provide people a new set of permanent teeth in 24 hours and really give them back a smile that they can be proud of.
My second question is about the men and women watching who suffer from these problems. How important is this to people? I mean, is it just about vanity or just about having problems with functions like chewing?
You know, it is about appearance. That's important, but it's not about vanity. It's appearance because you need to have confidence to interact in the social world that we live in. And you need function. You have to be able to use your teeth. And if you don't have those two things, your life kind of stops. You can't chew and eat healthy food. You can't take care of yourself. You can't, maybe you're uncomfortable interacting with friends or even family. So it's a really big deal to address those problems, and that's why this really is so impactful and so meaningful of a treatment.
When patients see themselves with their new smiles in the mirror for the first time, what do they say?
It's always tears of joy. Often they'll be with family, of course, and so there's, it's emotionally overwhelming. I think there's a lot of hope that re-enters there. You can see it in their eyes, really, like all of a sudden, oh, there's a future for me, right? And so you get to see that experience. But by far, I think the most common thing is people will say, man, I should have done this sooner. I should have done this 10 years ago. I should have done this sooner. So it's fun to see.
Well, let me ask about something less than full mouth implants. What about dentures as a simpler, cheaper solution?
Dentures are an outdated old technology, and I don't even use the word solution in the same sentence anymore. A denture really is sort of a Band-Aid, but they don't work well for long. And candidly, I don't think I've ever met a patient who's told me that they truly are happy with their denture. It's not the case. On the other hand, the converse is true with Nuvia, right? Everyone's happy with Nuvia. We have over 30,000 five-star reviews. It's wildly successful in delivering, happiness again, really, in that realm. But dentures are not a good solution. And most importantly, we have known for some time now, scientifically, we know that dentures accelerate bone loss. They're actually bad for you in the long run.
Well, no disrespect, but a lot of people just are not going to believe that they can have new, beautiful teeth in just 24 hours. And we see one-day implants advertised more and more. So what is the truth about this new teeth in a day?
You know, the truth about teeth in a day is the traditional process, it delivered something in a day, but it was temporary teeth. I actually have an example of this. So traditionally, we would make just a regular, typical denture, and then after the procedure is done, we use the word retrofit. We would attach this and, we'd cut it down in the lab by hand and drill some holes in it and, add some acrylic to it, some glue to it. The whole point of just trying to give somebody something. And the result often was a weak piece of plastic, because let's be honest, this is plastic, a weak piece of plastic teeth that we don't let them ever use because it will break. And often they didn't even look that good. And so we'd ask people to, live with this for 6 to 10 months sometimes, dealing with this temporary set of teeth, before we would then start the whole process of, all these extra appointments and make them a final and, permanent set of teeth. So what we've done is we've innovated on that, and we have a proprietary process that allows us to actually deliver in 24 hours a permanent set of teeth.
Wow.
That don't need to be changed, right? The answer, the solution in 24 hours.
What is this made out of?
This is made out of a material, a ceramic called zirconia,
Okay.
which is kind of the standard of care in the dental prosthodontic world right now for restoring teeth.
Versus this, it's just made of plastic?
Just plastic. That's what acrylic is, right? It's a type of plastic. So.
Well, it sounds too good to be true. So how can you do what nobody else does?
There's really two things. We have an innovative, proprietary process that we've developed over the years. And in addition to that, we've assembled a whole team, right? So a whole team of specialists, of experts in this thing to be able to deliver this the way that we do. We have dedicated oral and maxillofacial surgeons. We have dedicated prosthodontists and restorative dentists for that aspect. We also have, which is not common, we have dedicated anesthesia providers, right? CRNAs, certified registered nurse anesthetists, and even anesthesiologists that are all a part of a whole team to deliver a world-class experience in 24 hours without extra appointments and all the downside that comes with the traditional way.
Well, when it comes to dentists or dental procedures, people worry a lot about being hurt, about days or weeks of pain. So just how painful is this?
That's a common question. Right off the bat, we have that answer with our anesthesia model. So everyone gets to go through the procedure under gentle anesthesia. They're not awake for it. They don't remember it. So they don't even have to experience the actual procedure itself. And then commonly, most people, a handful of days after, are just going to need over-the-counter, pain medicines for a week or so. And largely we'll describe it as surprisingly easy.
Well, let's see a couple of your patients. And later in the program, we'll meet 6 patients talking with me about each of their experiences. So absolutely stay tuned. Now, doctor, what do we have here?
Yeah, so this is Jay. Jay's 73, self-described sort of jokester, life of the party. He's got a wonderful personality. But due to slowly having dental problems that were getting worse and worse, and you can see that in his before picture, right? He began to lose teeth. The remaining teeth weren't all that healthy. He describes his own parents as both being in dentures by the time they were 40, so had a lot against him, and he just found it hard to be who he really was. So he came in to see us, fortunately, and the team was able to do just an amazing job. He had such a good outcome. Couldn't be more thrilled. He says his wife is asking every 5 minutes now to see him smile, right, which he was ashamed to do before. And the biggest thing for Jay is, like so many others, he's serious when he says, I should have done this sooner. So.
Well, he looks amazing, and this was all done in just 24 hours.
Yeah, just 24 hours. It's that easy.
Who do we have next?
So next we have Sharana. Sharana's a little younger than Jay. Similar problems though, right? So dental problems that slowly started to creep up and accumulate. We're losing a tooth here and there. The biggest problem for Sharana was she had some back teeth lost, but she started to have trouble in the front, right? Which is where the smile really is seen. Now she likes to be social. right? A big part of her life and who she is spending time with others. But she started to have this decay and cavity form right in the middle of her 2 front teeth. And it got worse and worse until, you could see where it's at in that before picture. And she just wasn't herself anymore. She didn't dare to spend as much time with others. She would hide her smile. But just like Jay came to Nuvia and was able to have successful treatment, a killer outcome, so much more joy back into her smile there. You can see in her after photo. And now she says she's able to sort of rejoin her life and be among friends, be among family, among coworkers, classmates, without feeling judged, which is huge, a huge part of this outcome for her. So we couldn't be more thrilled.
And she looks younger. I think she looks 10 years younger.
It really does. It's like a facelift without surgery, it's amazing.
What about age? What if they have health problems or take medications? What if they have been wearing dentures?
So that's not a problem at all. We treat people of all ages. We treat people commonly in their 70s, their 60s, their 50s, often taking medications or managing medical issues. It's actually almost uncommon to have someone who doesn't have a medical issue that they're currently being treated for. But it's no problem. Our expert teams put everyone through a robust medical clearance process so that everything is prepared prior to proceeding, so we can get a predictable outcome like we do day after day.
Well, Dr. Hansen, thank you. We'll have more with Dr. Hansen, plus meet 6 patients, actual patients, not actors, sharing their experiences, and we're even going to see an amazing demonstration of the quality and strength of Nuvia permanent teeth, all when we return after this brief invitation to you to get your own success story.
This is exciting. Only at Nuvia can you get a brand new, younger looking, healthier smile with new permanent teeth in just 24 hours. Amaze your loved ones and friends with a new you. Never again be embarrassed, camera shy, or embarrass your spouse with a smile you have to hide. Rescue yourself from gum disease and tooth loss and conditions that even worsen diabetes or heart disease. Risks of heart attacks and strokes. Now is your time. Time to do something big to improve your life. You deserve to be free of mouth and jaw pain, embarrassing teeth losses, looking old, worrying when you eat. You deserve to be happy. Now, over 25,000 people just like you change their lives at Nuvia every year. The day you walk in the door and are warmly welcomed at your Nuvia clinic can be the day of a new you. With this, you are fixing more than just your smile. You're changing your whole quality of life. Take our free 1-minute online quiz to find out if you may be eligible for Nuvia treatment. You can take the quiz using your phone, tablet, or computer.
Welcome back to Healthier Living. We've gathered 6 different Nuvia patients from around the country to share their experience. Bishop, you've had your dental implants for 3 years, and I can imagine when people first get their implants, they're very excited. But now that you've had some time to think about it and live with it, how do you feel about that decision?
Honestly, Marissa, I feel just as good today as I did 3 years ago when I first got them done. I spent so many years of my life not being able to eat, covering my mouth when I smile, covering my face, hanging with friends, walking around in the middle of the night in pain, that today, to realize that I no longer have those issues, I can eat whatever I want, I sleep better, my confidence is through the roof. It feels just as good today as it does. Like each day feels like the first day. I feel amazing.
Have you had any of your, root people, the people that you deliver mail to, comment on your smile?
Oh, constantly, constantly. I constantly get approached by people asking, you have beautiful teeth, you have a beautiful smile, and of course I'm happy to talk about it. I'm happy to talk about it. Yeah, I got it done at Nuvia, and this is what they did, and this is where I went, and this is how. 24 hours. I got it done in 24 hours.
Here's your mail.
And here's your mail.
With a smile.
With a smile, of course. Absolutely.
I love that. Thank you for sharing.
Of course.
Duncan, as you know, Nuvia does do permanent teeth in 24 hours, but when you first started looking around, thinking about fixing your teeth, you were told a different, very discouraging story. So tell us about that.
Well, I hadn't been to a dentist for years. My pattern was if I got a tooth that hurt, then I went to the dentist. So I had gone back a little ahead of schedule. I didn't have a tooth that hurt this time, but it had been a few years. I walked in, she went through all the testing and said, well, you have a year and a half worth of work to get your teeth good. And my immediate thought was, there's not a chance on the planet I'm going to sit in the dentist chair for the next year and a half and do that. I had barely looked at implants. In my lifetime as an adult, I'd had 15 root canals. I had root canals, then I had broken teeth, and then they put crowns on it, and I had broken crowns. And I used to call that the Band-Aid approach. You know, they didn't really fix anything. We just waited for the next tooth to go bad. I went there, I got these teeth in 24 hours, exactly as they told me I would. And in 4.5 years with these, I've not had one incident, one concern, or one problem. I consider myself a blessed man.
Ricky, you were motivated more by health than appearance. What worried you most about your health that brought you to dental implants?
Well, I got sick a lot, and I didn't know why. Where I'd wake up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, just sick, almost every single night of the week. And I'd go to the doctor. Nobody knew why. Did all kinds of tests, and just couldn't figure it out. One day I was at the doctor, and they said, "Have you think it could be your teeth?" And I never thought about that. And then you go and, I had pretty bad teeth, broken off, and just horrible where I didn't want to smile, which, causes other issues too. And I went to 7 different places.
7?
One place twice.
Wow.
And I was at a banquet, and I was eating a banquet steak, and I couldn't chew it. And I thought, I'm going to choke up here on this thing. And that's whenever I decided I need to get something done finally. So I went back to the one place, and I was ready to sign the contract. And I said, Nuvia popped up on my phone. And I was sitting there watching the videos. And I was like, well, this is pretty cool. And teeth in 24 hours, and everything looked just state of the art.
I know health was your big driving
Yes.
factor, but I have to ask, what did it feel like to see your smile for the first time after you got your new teeth?
I'll have to tell you, I might have shed a tear or two. So it was very emotional and very life-changing due to the fact that not really due to the smile, but it just changes you mentally and physically and emotionally. And whenever you see the smile, everything that happened before that point is not happening again.
Tricia,
Yes.
your story is very different than everyone here, really, because when you first went to Nuvia, you were told you were not a candidate for their permanent teeth in
Correct.
24 hours. Walk me through exactly what happened.
Like Ricky, I spent 2 years looking, and I was told by many other locations that you're not going to be a candidate because of various different things. I was a jigsaw puzzle because I was missing teeth, broken teeth, just like we've all talked about. So I went in, did all the scans like everybody does, the same procedures, and they came back at first saying, you're a candidate. I was excited. I was like, this is the first time in 2 years that I'm being told yes. They left. 10 minutes later, they came back in and said, you're not a candidate. I'm like, how can 10 minutes change a decision? And they said they talked to the doctors, they talked to the anesthesiologist, and said because of your weight, your BMI is too high. You need to lose weight. 6 weeks later, I found out I had cancer.
Oh, wow.
So a week later, I was on the operating table. After that, they came back and said, we didn't get it. You now have tumors. Okay, another gut punch. Went back for surgeries 2 and 3. At that time, we didn't know, especially when they tell you you're not going to survive. So at the end of September, I went ahead and finished that last surgery. I waited about 2.5 weeks, and the doctor called me, and they said the R word, you're in remission. I was like, ooh, I like this word. I'm in remission. No more than 24 hours later, I called the Nuvia office. And I told them, I'm like, I've lost some weight, not because of my teeth. I was eating for cancer, and I needed to live for my family. After they looked at everything, my BMI was lower, and of course, they were very happy that I was able to get my new smile.
How does it feel?
Feels wonderful. Nuvia saved all of our lives in one way or another. For one reason or another, we are all here because Nuvia helped us. Thank you. I can never say thank you enough. I can't say thank you enough.
So many unique stories, but this common underlying amazing transformation and hearing how your lives have changed is just so heartwarming. Speaking of heartwarming, people are motivated as we hear by different things. Michelle, you were motivated by a very special day. Tell me about it.
It was my wedding to my best friend. Everybody says their partner's their best friend, but he's actually been my best friend for over 15 years, and he went and got his done, and it motivated me to get mine done, and we decided we were actually a really good couple.
We were looking yesterday at some pictures when we first started dating, but before either one of us had our stuff done, and then looked at our wedding picture. There's one of my favorites is when we're leaning against a tree. I love that picture. I love them all. But speaking of transformational, one of the biggest treasure, Nuvia's done wonders for me, and for for my self-confidence. But the biggest payoff for me is seeing what it's done for my wife. To see her come out of this shell and blossom to this beautiful, she's already the most beautiful human being in the world inside, and blossom and outside and step out with that confidence in new adventures.
What a difference a day can make.
What a difference a day
Literally.
can make.
I want to thank you so much for sharing your stories. You are such an inspirational group. And I want to invite you to take the next step and start your new story. We'll be back in just a few moments.
This is exciting. Only at Nuvia can you get a brand new, younger looking, healthier smile with new permanent teeth in just 24 hours. Amaze your loved ones and friends with a new you. Never again be embarrassed, camera shy, or embarrass your spouse with a smile you have to hide. Rescue yourself from gum disease and tooth loss and conditions that even worsen diabetes or heart disease. Risks of heart attacks and strokes. Now is your time. Time to do something big to improve your life. You deserve to be free of mouth and jaw pain, embarrassing teeth losses, looking old, worrying when you eat. You deserve to be happy. Now, over 25,000 people just like you change their lives at Nuvia every year. The day you walk in the door and are warmly welcomed at your Nuvia clinic can be the day of a new you. With this, you are fixing more than just your smile. You're changing your whole quality of life. Take our free 1-minute online quiz to find out if you may be eligible for Nuvia treatment. You can take the quiz using your phone, tablet, or computer.
We're back with Dr. Hansen for just a few more questions. Dr. Hansen, I imagine people are concerned about the quality of Nuvia permanent teeth, about never having problems with them. Maybe because it's done in just one day, they think maybe it's not the best that can be done. So would you comment on that?
You know, I think it's important to remember that slow is not necessarily better. All of Nuvia's providers are the experts in this specific type of dental treatment. There's a reason we left the old way for the new way. And in the new way, we deliver permanent teeth made of permanent materials in 24 hours. And I mean, just last year alone, of the 11, almost 12,000 smiles, only 21 had minor issues that were quickly addressed. And it's given us a very high success rate year after year. It's one of the reasons we have over 30,000 5-star reviews.
Now, something fun and dramatic to show you about the quality and durability of Nuvia teeth. Everybody, watch this.
A lot of people have questions about how strong our permanent set of teeth in 24 hours really are, and we are here at Caterpillar to test that strength. About to test the permanent teeth in 24 hours at Nuvia. Here we go. We also have a temporary set of teeth that we get from other implant centers, and we're gonna see how they hold up against one another. The temp was crushed just on the skid steer. The first machine, the smallest one, just crushed it in half. We used a skid steer, we used a backhoe. The temporary denture didn't even withstand the skid steer. Nuvia's permanent set of teeth withstood everything. That 980 loader is 60,000 pounds. And it got a small little chip on the 980 loader, which is the biggest machine, 60,000 pounds, a tiny little chip. And it is delivered in just one day.
Last thing, Dr. Hansen, what is the most common reaction you get when the patient sees their new smile in the mirror for the first time?
Most commonly, we have tears of joy immediately upon seeing the new smile. And then, of course, followed by hugs and family support. And then almost always someone exclaims, "I should have done this 10 years ago."
Sounds like an amazing and a very emotional experience. What have we learned? It's just not possible to enjoy health for life without a healthy mouth. Broken teeth, a tooth removed here or there, decay, gum disease, and bone loss are serious. But just as serious is how you feel about yourself. It's hard to be confident and happy with a bad smile. And no matter your personal dental problems, it can all be fixed, and you can have a winning smile in one day. So why wait? Take the next step. Call the number or visit the website on your screen. Please don't wait any longer. If you feel like having a new, beautiful smile, healthy gums, perfect bite could give you a healthier, happier life, take the next steps to get all your questions answered and see if you are a good candidate for a Nuvia new smile. Use the website or phone number at the bottom of the screen. Kind, professional team members are waiting to help you. Thank you, Dr. Hansen. And thank you for watching.
This is exciting. Only at Nuvia can you get a brand new, younger looking, healthier smile with new permanent teeth in just 24 hours. Amaze your loved ones and friends with a new you. Never again be embarrassed, camera shy, or embarrass your spouse with a smile you have to hide. Rescue yourself from gum disease and tooth loss and conditions that even worsen diabetes or heart disease. Risks of heart attacks and strokes. Now is your time. Time to do something big to improve your life. You deserve to be free of mouth and jaw pain, embarrassing teeth losses, looking old, worrying when you eat. You deserve to be happy. Now, over 25,000 people just like you change their lives at Nuvia every year. The day you walk in the door and are warmly welcomed at your Nuvia clinic can be the day of a new you. With this, you are fixing more than just your smile. You're changing your whole quality of life. Take our free 1-minute online quiz to find out if you may be eligible for Nuvia treatment. You can take the quiz using your phone, tablet, or computer.